Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to this week's Raw review. We have got so much to go through that we really don't have time to talk about anything else. I just want to give a shout out to Owen Spencer, who I know watches the channel and has been a supporter for a while, so thank you very much. I've got all my notes here and, well, I mean, no major changes, right? Apart from like the entrance music. And obviously the logo, but the feel of the show just felt fresh. It wasn't like this mad overhaul, but I think one of the biggest changes was they took the commentators away from ringside and put them up by the entrance ramp. It had kind of a WCW feel to it, and I thought it worked. I mean, WWF used to do this as well, kind of back in the day at like pay-per-views. I can remember Jesse the Body Ventura standing there with Vince McMahon, and you'd see the crowd behind them. And I think that's a big development, because it's nice when you cut to the commentators and you can see the crowd, the whole arena behind them. What we're used to is cutting to the commentators. You'd see like a few people from the front row and they'd be there going like this in the background, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, this felt nicer. Plus also I thought it made the ringside area an awful lot cleaner, and it just kind of, I don't know, it kind of encouraged a bit more out of ring action. There's no more of that taking the top off, removing the monitors, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not going to miss people going through the announce tables. I've seen it that many times now that it really lost its appeal. You know, and who's to say you still can't do it? Just take them up to the top of the ramp and put them through it up there. So I was really into it. The kind of theme of the show is still very similar. It's that kind of metal and sparks, that kind of industrial kind of feel, and whenever you go to a replay, you know, the image is in like these metal girders, and the sparks in the background. So they didn't really overhaul any of that kind of stuff. The show starts with Mick Foley and Steph bringing the whole roster out. Most of the roster looked like they didn't want to come out. It tells you sort of traipsing out. You know, I was looking around, seeing, I could not see Finn Balor. I didn't even notice that at the start. But he wasn't at the front. He was very much hidden away at the back. They made the announcement, you know, they blamed Roman Reigns for losing the title, which I thought was very interesting. And obviously what happens later is very interesting as well. So don't know if they've given up on Roman or if they're just going in a different direction. I certainly think they've come to the realisation that they don't desperately need him as much anymore, because there's some other names that are around now, and what with the brand split, you know, it's not as if someone's got to carry the whole business. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting, but it was announced there's going to be a new title, the WWE Universal Champion. And this is big news because this has never existed before. It's not going to be replacing anything. The first champion will be crowned at SummerSlam. There's no history to it, so it's completely brand new. No ideas what it looks like. Can't wait to find out. And yeah, I'm on board with it. I think as a name it works as well. The Universal Champion. So glad they didn't bring back the World Heavyweight Champion. That's done. It got retired. And that's got its own history, you know, Sting and Ric Flair and, you know, all of those, you know, classic, you know, WCW matches. They didn't need to bring that back. They haven't brought that back. They're bringing back a Universal, and they said they've named it after the WWE Universe. It's a brilliant move. It's a brilliant move. I would say hats off, but you really don't want to see my hair under this. It's a right mess. So yeah, all of that happened, and like we were like 5 minutes in, if that. So the other thing that was announced was that Seth was going to go straight to SummerSlam and be in that final match. And so tonight we were going to get two Fatal 4-Way matches. So in the first one, they called them out. It was Rusev, Owens, Cesaro, and Finn Balor. So Balor got to kind of come from the back, got this massive response, and we were into that first match. So notes I've got down here was that there was a frog splash from KO, pop-up power bombs, springboard, corkscrew uppercuts. Cesaro reversed the Accolade into like a pin, which is the first time I've seen someone do that. Cesaro swing into a sharpshooter. I thought it was really good, like how Owens and Rusev worked together as well. Owens was saying to Rusev, I don't understand what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying, but let's beat up on this guy, and they were working together on that. It was a really great match. I've put down here, it's like pay-per-view quality, and there was "This is awesome" chants. But Balor picks up the victory, he hits the coup de grace on Rusev. I thought it was great, and I thought the right person came through. I was expecting Kevin Owens to be the one, to tell the truth, and kind of felt like they were going to build towards maybe Owens and Roman Reigns, or Owens and Sami Zayn. Obviously it didn't go that way. Finn Balor came through that first match. Next up, something that really impressed me, Britt Baker. Not Britt Baker that was what impressed me, but the fact they've brought back jobbers. They've brought back jobbers, people whose only job it is to just turn up for a week and lose a match. Oh, brilliant. That's exactly what it needs. You can't keep trading wins. You can't have Nia Jax come out and destroy Dana Brooke, right? Because you're going to make Dana Brooke look weak. And then like next week, Dana Brooke picks up a victory over Sasha Banks, and then Sasha Banks beats Nia Jax. You've just got all these people trading wins. No one looks brilliant. No one looks unstoppable. And the only way you can do that is have someone come out and destroy someone. That's what they've done. They've brought back jobbers. They've brought back these local talents, these indie wrestlers that don't have a contract with WWE, and their only purpose is to just make, the other person look good. And that's what happened. Nia Jax destroyed this girl. 2 minutes and it was done. She could have had it done even quicker than that, but she pulled her up at the 2 count. And Jax looked a beast. A few more weeks of this, and you're gonna be, you're gonna be into the idea of Nia Jax, Sasha Banks, or something along those lines. So loved it. Next we had Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, Chris Jericho, and Sheamus in that second Fatal 4-Way. Winner faced Balor at the end. It was another great match. I'm going to have to read out my notes. A Blue Thunder Bomb from Sami on Roman Reigns. A countered Helluva from Roman into a powerbomb. Another fast-paced match, very similar to that first match. For me, not sure this got to the levels of that first match, but it wasn't too far away. Walls of Jericho on Sami. Superman Punch on Sami, and then on to Jericho as well. Kick in the face into a code breaker from Jericho. Spear to Jericho meant that Roman Reigns picked up the victory. I thought this was a very, very clever move, because you watch this and you go, well, it's going to be the Roman show, innit? Nothing's changed. Blah, blah, blah. They've given Finn a bit of a push at the first, in the first Raw. That's all nice. So you get Finn Balor against Roman Reigns in the main event. Don't even know if I can be bothered to stick around and watch it, to tell the truth, but I will, because it's Finn Balor, and I'm obviously invested in watching Finn. So after that, then the New Day came out, had balloons everywhere. They showed a video package. They came out with balloons that had how long they'd been tag champions for. They showed this video package, and they were joking afterwards, saying how big the package was, and how impressive the package was, and things like that. Obviously being a little cheeky. And out of nowhere, Gallows and Anderson interrupt. This was after a really weird bit where they got someone out the crowd, some guy called Sonny Boy, and I wasn't really into it. But then when Gallows and Anderson came out and interrupted it, it was really cool when Gallows and Anderson beat up the New Day and then went up to Sonny Boy at ringside. You could tell from the start this guy was a plant, and if I'm wrong on that, then I'll be amazed, because the second they went over, I thought, yeah, WWE have put that guy there. But Gallows and Anderson were, kind of going, so you're the new member, yeah, you're the honorary member of New Day, kind of really making out they was about to beat up on this guy. I really wanted them to beat up on the guy as well. Because, as I said, I'm pretty sure he was put there by WWE, so there's no reason why he couldn't take a bump. If he was a genuine fan, then I just love it even more. So, yeah, really, really cool. It was announced after that. Well, actually, before I move on to that, really cool line from Corey Graves. He says that Gallows and Anderson aren't concerned with balloons and cereals. They're after checks and championships. It's like, oh, that is awesome. After that, we had an announcement that Stone Cold was going to do his podcast with Dean Ambrose in a couple of weeks' time. Very much looking forward to that. Very much looking forward to finding out who Dean's going to be feuding with now that Seth and Roman are both on Raw and Dean's gone over to SmackDown. Next match, Curtis Axel, already in the ring, was announced as Mr. Irrelevant. This was pointed out as to why, because he was the final draft for Raw, and I didn't know that this is what they did in the NFL. I don't watch the NFL. I don't even know if we get it. I think we do, like late night maybe on Sky Sports or something in the UK, but it's obviously not that big over here. Although saying that, whenever they come over and play at like Wembley, it's like sold out within minutes. So people have got a real appetite for it, but I don't know much about it. And apparently this Mr. Irrelevant is a tag you get if you're the final person drafted. But it just felt weird, them like calling Curtis Axel Mr. Irrelevant. Not really a great way to build someone up, but I don't think they were trying to. Out came Neville in a pretty quick match. It wasn't on for that long. It wasn't that impressive either. There was a standing moonsault, red arrow victory for the end. He was in his red attire, and I much prefer Neville in that red attire. So that was just a nice little bonus ball. Great little backstage segment between Backlund and Darren Young, just telling him that he's got to regroup and go again. I don't know how he's going to go again because Miz and the IC title are on SmackDown. So I don't know if Darren Young now turns his attentions to Rusev, which would make a lot of sense. They've been building Rusev up, and I would like to see Darren Young, go after that championship. So yeah, I'd be on board with that. What do I say about the next match? Sasha Banks against Charlotte. I've got a reaction video that I've already done and put up, which, will say more than what I can in this. Amazing. Just an amazing moment. I don't get why Bayley wasn't there. Would have been nice for Bayley to have been ringside, and then Bayley could have taken Dana Brooke out of the equation, leaving Sasha and Charlotte. And then that would have meant as well that when Sasha won, Bayley could have come out and, given her a big hug and everything. But I suppose they didn't want it to kind of upstage the moment. Feels like they've thrown a SummerSlam moment at this first Raw, if you will, because I think they want to do whatever they can and everything they can to really keep viewers watching. So, yes, we've lost Dean Ambrose. Yes, we've lost John Cena. But we'll give you all of this instead. And man, they knocked it out of the park. Sasha winning, fantastic. We wanted to see it. I wanted to see it. Didn't think it was going to happen. I was honestly sat there wondering how they were going to screw her out of it, because Dana had been taken out of the picture, and I thought maybe Nia was going to come down and interfere. Maybe Nia was going to take Sasha out of the equation. I couldn't quite get my head around it, and then she picks up the victory. Bank statement applied. And Charlotte gets out of it. Charlotte turns around and goes, "You'll never beat me," and then backstabber into a second bank statement, taps out. What a moment. What a moment. Byron Saxton views her after. She, says this is the start of women's wrestling and all that kind of stuff. Crowd give it the old yes chant. I'm firmly on board with all of that. And then we get our second jobber. Second jobber being James Ellsworth against Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman's got his own entrance now. His music was all right, what you'd imagine, for a big guy. And he's kind of changed his look a bit. I think like his hair on the top had gone back, and I think he'd got like this long ponytail. This James Ellsworth just didn't even look like a wrestler. No offense to the guy, but he wasn't built. He was a small guy. He might be like a technical wizard, but I don't know. He didn't look like one. And Braun Strowman destroyed him anyway. Absolutely destroyed. Reverse choke slam, and it was another squash match. Didn't really make Strowman look that impressive. It would have been more impressive if he had destroyed someone bigger, like, if they'd managed to get like someone a bit bigger and Strowman still went through him. But maybe that's one for the future. But the whole show felt fresh. Everything, just all felt fresh. The fact they had these jobbers, the fact we'd seen a title change, the fact they'd moved the commentary booth, the fact that Corey Graves being on the show as well. No more JBL. Corey Graves being on. It's just box tick, box tick, box tick. Next up, we had Enzo Big Cass come out, and they were, you know, cutting some promo. They got interrupted by the Shining Stars. Match was all right. I've put down here that Epico looks like the Puerto Rican Bo Dallas. Honestly, you need to look at those two side by side. Golden Truth interrupt this match doing some Pokemon thing. WWE must have some kind of deal with Pokemon, because I'm seeing WWE mention Pokemon Go all the time. They've either got a deal with them or they're trying to cash in on the craze. Either way, it's getting a little annoying. And Golden Truth just wander through the middle of the ring trying to catch this Pokemon whilst the match is on. It's silly stuff like that I wanted us to get away from, but I understand that there's kids and they have to still cater to all markets, but for me this was the low point of Raw. But that was followed very, very quickly by the high point of Raw. That high point being Balor against Reigns. Just before this match, it was announced that Lesnar would be on Raw next week, and it will be fascinating to see if Paul Heyman's with him, because we're hearing that Paul Heyman is out of contract, and I've not heard that contract has been renewed yet. And it will also be fascinating to see if he addresses, obviously, the drug scandal that he's going through with UFC at the moment, and what he's got to say about facing Randy Orton at SummerSlam. So, yeah, you know, fascinating. But Balor and Roman finish the show. Balor picks up the victory, and who saw that coming? A clean victory for Finn Balor. Just you couldn't even have dreamed it. I don't know how much this is to do with the suspension. I can't believe this was the plan all along. I can't believe they've always planned on bringing Balor up and putting him over Roman Reigns. The only disappointing thing was that they've put so much into this one show. I just don't know what they can do going forward, but that's their concern. They've given us an absolutely action-packed, full of surprises, full of moments Raw that I absolutely loved, and it's up to them now as to how they're going to keep that moving forward. Balor picks up the victory with coup de grace. I mean, no great surprise there, but the fact it was clean, you know. And I loved the interview with Roman straight after. So Roman, you know, he's out the ring, Balor's celebrating, that's how Raw finishes. But just after the match, Roman rolls out, he talks to Tom Phillips, and he says, I hope Balor goes on and beats Seth, because I really want a rematch against this guy. And it does set up the future, and they have got loads of options. And oh man, just what a show. What a show. I don't even need to say to you guys, you know, drop it in the comments if you enjoyed it. Of course you enjoyed it. How could you not enjoy it? It was incredible. So, yeah, drop it in the comments if you enjoyed the show. Or you can follow me on Facebook or Twitter at Wrestling Days UK. If you haven't subscribed, it'd be crazy wicked good if you did. And I don't know what else I can say other than if this is the new era, then I absolutely love it and can't wait to watch more of it. They knocked it out of the park, man. Good luck, SmackDown, following that, because I just don't know how you can. Man, so good. Cool. Thanks a lot for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.